Mission Director Shri Mohan Kumar giving clearance for the initiation of automatic launch sequence. This is based on the confirmation of readiness of all participating teams for range, launch vehicles, spacecraft and tracking. The automatic launch sequence is scheduled to begin at T-14 minutes 30 seconds, as a part of which the most critical control system elements are checked for the launch vehicle.
Minus 17 minutes.
Very close to the launch time, control will be passed on to the onboard computers.
VLCC to note.
व्यूअर्स गैलरी दर्शकों से खचाखच भरी हुई।
VLCC रॉजर।
बहुत भारी संख्या में यहाँ लोग उपस्थित हुए हैं। आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत है सतीश धवन अंतरिक्ष केंद्र में।
Enthusiastic viewers from all across the country gathering at Satish Dhawan Space Center Launch View Gallery for witnessing this historic moment of Chandrayan 3 launch.
Copied.
The countdown for LVM-3 M4 Chandrayan 3 mission has lasted for 25.5 hours. It was commenced on 1:30 p.m. yesterday. During countdown, the launch vehicle stages are serviced with propellants. Gas bottles meant for stage operations are charged, while the Earth storable propellant filling was concluded more than 16 hours ago. The cryogenic propellants
servers activated. MC confirms data from Shravan.
अभी कंफर्म किया गया है। व्हीकल डायरेक्टर श्री बीजूसी थॉमस ने ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस शुरू कर दिया है। अब यह लॉन्च व्हीकल LVM-3
steering of the launch vehicle through atmosphere. Up next, we will watch a curtain raiser video on this mission.
Number 465, request CGSS to confirm supply of GN2 to cryo.
Moon, this familiar object in the night sky, has inspired the imagination of astronomers and ordinary people alike. From time immemorial, humans have marveled at the beauty of the moon, used it to count time and navigate the high seas. In modern times, Moon, the only natural satellite of the Earth, has acquired added importance due to the belief that Moon is the key to our understanding of the evolution of the solar system in general and Earth in particular. Besides, Moon's precious resources and low gravity have further endeared it to humans. India, a major spacefaring nation, has conducted a detailed exploration of the Moon through its Chandrayan program. The country has sent 2 robotic spacecraft to orbit the Moon and to take a repeated look at its surface. Chandrayan-1 demonstrated India's ability to reach the surface of the Moon at a place and time of its choice. And with it, India became the 4th country to reach the surface of the Moon in November 2008. Besides, Chandrayan-1's conclusive discovery of water on the Moon in 2009 was praised as a path-breaking discovery. The follow-on mission, Chandrayan-2, had an orbiter, a lander called Vikram, and a rover named Pragyan. In the past 4 years, the orbiter has repeatedly observed the lunar surface and even today is working satisfactorily. Now, 3,900 kilograms Chandrayan-3 spacecraft is being sent to the Moon with the objective of making yet another focused attempt to slowly land on the lunar surface and to explore it with the help of a rover. Following the spacecraft launched by India's most capable rocket LVM-3, the Chandrayan-3 lander carrying a rover within it will be carried into an orbit around the Moon by the propulsion module. A little later, The lander will separate from that module and will attempt to make a soft landing in the south polar region of the
-12
moon.
minutes.
This region is of intense interest as it has many permanently shadowed craters which could contain water ice and precious minerals. Chandrayan-3 lander has 4 scientific instruments or payloads, of which one will study the moonquakes, while the other one studies as to how the surface of the moon allows heat to flow through it. The third one will study the plasma environment near the moon's surface. And the fourth instrument will enable scientists to measure the distance between the Earth and Moon very accurately. The two instruments on the rover help us study the composition of the moon's surface using X-rays and laser respectively. While the lander and rover will be in direct contact with each other, the propulsion module circling the moon will observe the light coming from Earth, the only planet which we know which is definitely teeming with life. This observation will help in understanding the nature of distant planets circling stars other than the Sun. As Chandrayan-3 undergoes important tests and gears up for launch, thousands of ISRO scientists, including those who will launch it, control it and receive the precious scientific information from it using giant dish antennas, are readying themselves for the challenging tasks ahead. In the past, their dedication and skill have enabled India to earn praise from across the world and made it proud. Let us wish them well in this great endeavor called Chandrayan-3.
-10 minutes.
आपके सामने हैं इसरो के अध्यक्ष श्री एस सोमनाथ। अभी अभी आपने देखा एक संक्षिप्त वीडियो जिसमें एनिमेशन की मदद से इस पूरे मिशन की यात्रा को बताया गया है, इस मिशन के ऑब्जेक्टिव को समझाया गया।
Which tank level correction completed?
Chandrayaan-3 has two predecessors with destination Moon as their mission objective. Chandrayaan-1, launched by PSLV C-11 in October 2008, included lunar orbiter and impactor. During the mission life of around 10 months, Chandrayaan-1 had mapped the minerals on lunar surface, acquired 70,000 images to help create
-9 minutes.
3D atlas of Moon, and what's more, found water on Moon's polar regions. Chandrayaan-2, launched by LVM-3M1 on 22nd of July 2019, consisted of lunar orbiter, lander named Vikram, and rover named Pragyan. The orbiter is still providing insightful scientific information through its payloads like spectrometers, synthetic aperture radar, and cameras.
चंद्रयान 3 की चंद्रमा की सतह में उतरने के इस मिशन को कुल 10 चरणों में पूरा किया जाएगा। संक्षेप में यह इस प्रकार है। सर्वप्रथम चंद्रयान 3 को LVM-3 प्रमोचक रॉकेट द्वारा पृथ्वी की एलिप्टिकल टारगेट ऑर्बिट, जो कि 170 बाई 36,500 किलोमीटर की ऑर्बिट है, उसमें प्रमोचित किया जाएगा। वहां से चंद्रयान में मैन्यूवर कर पृथ्वी की गुरुत्वाकर्षण की सहायता से चंद्रयान की गति को वृद्धि की जाएगी। फिर चंद्रयान पृथ्वी की कक्षा से निकलकर चंद्रमा की कक्षा में जाएगा। चंद्रमा की कक्षा में जाते ही उसमें फिर से मैन्यूवर कर चंद्रमा की 100 किलोमीटर की वृत्ताकार कक्षा में स्थापित किया जाएगा। फिर सही समय आने पर लैंडर मॉड्यूल को प्रोपल्शन मॉड्यूल से पृथक कर दिया जाएगा। यह आप अपनी स्क्रीन पर देख पा रहे हैं, यह है प्रोपल्शन मॉड्यूल। प्रोपल्शन मॉड्यूल का मुख्य उद्देश्य है लैंडर तथा रोवर को पृथ्वी की कक्षा से चंद्रमा की कक्षा में, जो कि 100 किलोमीटर की वृत्ताकार कक्षा होगी, उसमें उचित अभिवृत्ति में लैंडर मॉड्यूल को अपने से पृथक कर चंद्रमा की सतह पर भेजना है। ऐसा करने के लिए इसमें एमएमएच और मॉन का प्रयोग कर 440 न्यूटन के थ्रस्टर्स वाले इंजन्स लगे हुए हैं।
S200 prime chain actuation completed.
minus
इसमें
7
आवश्यक
minutes.
संचार सुविधाएं भी उपलब्ध हैं।
Speaking about the major milestones in the journey of Chandrayan 3 to the moon, the spacecraft consists of propulsion module, lander and rover. Lander is planned to touch down at south pole of moon. The major 10 phases of the mission are: the first phase, called the Earth-centric phase, comprises of pre-launch, launch, ascent and earthbound maneuver. While the second phase is the lunar transfer phase, as the name suggests, the Chandrayan spacecraft moves closer to the moon. Next 8 phases are in the moon orbit. The third being the lunar orbit insertion, followed by the moon-bound maneuvers phase,
Vehicle on
which mark
internal
the
power.
fourth phase. And next is, it is now that the propulsion module separates from the lunar
Minus
module
6 minutes.
when 100 by 100 circular orbit of the moon is achieved. The Chandrayaan 3 in its sixth phase carries out D-boost
External power
from
withdrawn.
100 kilometers to 100 by 30 kilometers orbit, followed by the pre-landing phase as seventh phase, and then the most awaited
Flight
landing
coefficient
phase
loading started.
takes place.
Flight coefficient loading complete.
आपके सामने है मिशन नियंत्रण कक्ष का दृश्य। सभी सेंटर डायरेक्टर्स अपने स्क्रीन पर देख रहे हैं कि ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस किस तरह पूरा हो रहा है। दर्शक दीर्घा भी इस इंतजार पे। प्रमोशन से हम 5 मिनट की दूरी पर हैं।
Minus 5 minutes.
Most of you might recall the Chandrayaan 2 mission
MC confirms radar
and the
data.
intense moments when all the enthusiastic
Number
Indians were
508, final charging of
waiting
Gaya
for the
to get
touchdown of the lander
of
on the
Gaya
surface of
system is
moon.
normal.
The launch view gallery with the overwhelming crowd of visitors.
पूरे दर्शक दीर्घा यहाँ बहुत उत्साहित। मौसम में थोड़ी परेशानी हो सकती है, लेकिन सब अपनी सुविधाओं के साथ में यहाँ उपस्थित हुए हैं।
We are close to 4 minutes from the scheduled launch time.
Minus 4 minutes.
Gaining from the heritage of Chandrayaan 2, the Chandrayaan 3 is upgraded in several aspects for the enhanced robustness
Pyro
through
and wall
extensive
battery
ground
on.
tests and simulation.
Onboard computer in flight mode.
ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस जारी है। इस दौरान सभी संचार तंत्रों की स्वास्थ्य जांच, बैटरी आवेशन पूर्ण किया जा चुका है। कुछ अंतिम गतिविधियां जैसे ऑनबोर्ड कंप्यूटर पर रियल टाइम प्रोग्राम लोड करना, पायरो लाइन को आर्म मोड में लाना, गैस टैंक का अंतिम आवेशन, और यह सभी घटनाएं संतोषजनक तरीके से पूर्ण की जा रही हैं।
Minus 3 minutes.
अब हम उड़ान से 3 मिनट की दूरी पर हैं। प्रमोशन तथा इस प्रमोशन की घटनाक्रम को पहले ही बताया जा चुका है। सर्वप्रथम दोनों S200 स्ट्रप-ऑन बूस्टर प्रज्वलित किए जाएंगे T0 पर।
Pre-flight pressurization of the hydrogen tank commenced.
S200 के प्रज्वलन के 108 सेकंड के पश्चात L110 जो कि
-2 minutes,
तरल नोदक पर आधारित चरण है, इसका प्रज्वलन शुरू कर दिया जाएगा। L110 के प्रज्वलन के पश्चात करीब 137 सेकंड पर S200 बूस्टर्स को यान से पृथक कर दिया जाएगा।
We are close to 1.5 minutes from the scheduled launch time.
सभी दर्शकों को ज्ञात है यह एक ऐतिहासिक मिशन होने वाला है। पूरे भारतवर्ष की आंखें इसमें हैं। इस यादगार पल के लिए यहाँ सब उपस्थित
-1 minute,
अब हम उड़ान से 1 मिनट की दूरी पर
-45 seconds, -50 seconds,
All sequences armed.
Stage ready.
-45 seconds, -40 seconds,
L110 VHPP open. MOV 79
-35
open.
seconds, -30 seconds,
Real-time programs activated.
-25 seconds,
L110 VHPP open.
-20 seconds, -15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Plus 5 seconds.
Lift off normal.
Here we have a majestic liftoff of LVM-3 M4 rocket carrying India's prestigious Chandrayan 3 spacecraft.
P2 tracking.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन LVM-3 M4 रॉकेट का। यह भीमकाय रॉकेट आसमान को चीरते हुए अपनी भयानक दहाड़ से चारों ओर कंपन उत्पन्न कर रहा है। इसे हम यहाँ महसूस कर सकते हैं और यही दहाड़ है जो वैज्ञानिकों को रोमांचित करती है। LVM-3 के उत्थापन के साथ ही हमारे अंतरिक्ष यान चंद्रयान 3 की चंद्रमा की यात्रा प्रारंभ हो चुकी है।
As the rocket is soaring through the clear skies, every second moving closer to the accomplishment of the most important milestone in its mission to moon. Every Indian witnessing the launch live is content with the feeling of watching history in the making.
चंद्रमा की सतह पर अपना छाप छोड़ने के लिए चंद्रयान 3 अपने मिशन को पूरा करने निकल चुका है। वर्तमान में दोनों S200 स्टेप ऑन बूस्टर सामान निष्पादन करते हुए अपनी निर्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ रहे हैं।
S200 motors thrusting simultaneously, generating a peak thrust of close to 6,000 kilonewtons in vacuum. They are made of HTPB-based solid propellant. 204.5 tons in each strap-on. Close to 2 tons of propellant being burnt each second.
S200 स्ट्रैप-ऑन बूस्टर्स का कुल प्रज्वलन काल 126 सेकंड का है और अभी घोषणा की गई L110 स्टेज का भी प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है।
Apart from the strap-ons,
normal.
the core stage has also commenced its operation. This stage, based on combination
200 stages are separated.
of hypergolic earth storable liquid propellants UH-25 and N2O4. Now the S200s have been separated.
घटनाक्रम के अनुसार इस यान से S200 स्ट्रैप-ऑन बूस्टर्स को सफलतापूर्वक पृथक कर दिया गया है। यह काम सेपरेशन मोटर्स की मदद से किया जाता है। इसके बाद L110 तरल नोदक पर आधारित और विकास इंजन के साथ यह चरण सामान्य निष्पादन करता हुआ अपने उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ रहा है। अभियान
3 minutes.
क्लोज लूप गाइडेंस के अंतर्गत है।
L1 turn stage performance normal.
The trajectory of launch vehicle is closely following the prediction.
Payload fairing separated.
जी हाँ, पेलोड फेयरिंग को पृथक कर दिया गया है यान से, क्योंकि यान अब 114.8 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई प्राप्त कर चुका है। इस चरण का कुल प्रज्वलन काल 200 सेकेंड होता है और इस दौरान यह करीब 1600 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करता है।
We are 220 seconds past the launch time. Current altitude is 135 kilometers. In the 200 seconds of its operation, the L-110 stage carries the rocket up to 175.5 kilometers altitude and
Plus
imparts
4
a relative velocity of 4.18 kilometers per second, that is 250 kilometers every minute.
L1 turn stage performance normal.
LVM-3 M4 रॉकेट का द्वितीय चरण पूर्णतः सामान्य निष्पादन करते हुए इस चरण में कुल 113 टन के तरल नोदक भरे जाते हैं। N2O4 तथा UH-25 अर्थ स्टोरेबल प्रोपेलेंट को ईंधन के रूप में प्रयोग किया जाता है इस चरण में।
Stage ignition is authorized.
अगला चरण C-25 का प्रज्वलन भावी है।
Plus 5 minutes.
L1 turn stage thrust cut off and separated to C-25 ignition command. 25 ignition confirmed.
That's a piece of really good news that the third stage has started its operation. The C-25 stage has been ignited.
जी हाँ, एक बहुत ही जटिल प्रक्रिया होती है क्रायो इंजन का इग्निशन, और इसके प्रज्वलन के साथ ही तालियों की गड़गड़ाहट से गूंज उठा है मिशन नियंत्रण कक्ष। तृतीय चरण C-25 वर्तमान में प्रणोद उत्पन्न कर रहा है। पूर्णतः सामान्य, सभी तंत्र पूर्णतः सामान्य हैं।
118 kilonewtons thrust in vacuum is what the stage develops with its 28.6 tons propellant combination of liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. Present altitude
Stage
is close.
performance normal.
तृतीय और यह अंतिम चरण है इस यान का C-25। यह क्रायो ईंधन पर आधारित चरण है जिसमें लिक्विड हाइड्रोजन, लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन का इस्तेमाल होता है। इसमें कुल 28 टन का क्रायो ईंधन पूरी सुरक्षा तथा सावधानी के साथ भरा जाता है। इस चरण में 186 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न होता है और यह करीब 640 सेकंड तक प्रज्वलित रहेगा। इसमें दिशा नियंत्रण के लिए इंजन जिम्बल का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है। क्रायो ईंधन का विशिष्ट आवेग 446 सेकंड के करीब होता है।
Currently, the rocket is at an altitude of 210 kilometers.
Plus 7 minutes.
While there is no much variation in altitude, this stage will add to the relative velocity immensely.
Cryo stage
आइए
performance
अब आपको
normal.
पेलोड के बारे में जानकारी देते हैं। लैंडर मॉड्यूल्स पे कई वैज्ञानिक प्रयोगों के लिए पेलोड्स लगाए गए हैं।
India's prestigious lunar landing spacecraft Chandrayaan-3 moving closer to its intended injection spot in the orbit. The propulsion module provides propulsion for Earth-bound maneuvers, translunar injection, and moon-bound orbits. It also has a payload to study the spectral and polarimetric measurements of Earth and lunar orbit. The abbreviated name of the payload is SHAPE. Among the payloads of the lander module, the following are included. A landwehr probe called Rambha to measure the near-surface plasma density, that is the density of ions and electrons, and its changes with time. The second payload is Chandra's Surface Thermophysical Experiment or CHASTE to measure thermal properties of lunar surface near polar regions. To measure the seismicity around the landing site and delineating the structure of the lunar crust and mantle, payload ILSA is there. The rover, after its descent, will further the
Cryo
scientific
stage
study
performance
objectives
normal.
through its own payloads. For better understanding of chemical and mineralogical composition of lunar surface, LIBS or laser-induced breakdown spectroscope is included. Another payload is the alpha particle X-ray spectrometer.
जी हाँ, लैंडर मॉड्यूल में 3 पेलोड हैं, रोवर में 2 और प्रोपल्शन मॉड्यूल में 1 पेलोड भेजा गया है। चंद्रयान 3 के स्वदेशी लैंडर और रोवर में नितभारों का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। यह अंतर्ग्रही मिशन के लिए भी आवश्यक तकनीकों का प्रदर्शन करेंगे। लैंडर के पास यह क्षमता है कि वह चंद्रमा की उबड़-खाबड़ सतह में भी बड़ी सावधानी से उतर सकेगा और रोवर को बाहर लाने के लिए और संचार सुविधाएं प्रदान करने के लिए सक्षम होगा। चंद्रयान 3 के लैंडर और रोवर में कुल 6 नितभार हैं। रेडियो एस्ट्रोनॉमी ऑफ मून बाउंड हाइपर सेंसिटिव आयनोस्फीयर एंड एटमॉस्फेयर, जिसे शॉर्ट में रंभा कहा जाता है, यह चंद्रमा की सतह के पास प्लाज्मा के घनत्व तथा समय के साथ बदलाव का मापन करेगा। इसके बाद चंद्र सरफेस थर्मोफिजिकल एक्सपेरिमेंट चंद्रमा के ध्रुवीय सतह के आसपास की थर्मल प्रॉपर्टीज का मापन करेगा। इंस्ट्रूमेंट फॉर ल्यूनर सिस्मिक एक्टिविटी लैंडिंग साइट के आसपास के क्षेत्र में भूकंप जैसी गतिविधियों का पता लगाएगा। रोवर में चंद्रमा की सतह के तत्वात्मक विश्लेषण के लिए लेजर इंड्यूस्ड ब्रेकडाउन स्पेक्ट्रोस्कोप और अल्फा पार्टिकल एक्सरे स्पेक्ट्रोस्कोप इसका इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। एक बहुत ही दिलचस्प वैज्ञानिक निर्धार है शेप स्पेक्ट्रोपोलैरिमेट्री ऑफ हैबिटेबल प्लैनेट अर्थ, जो कि चंद्रमा से पृथ्वी से परावर्तित नियर इंफ्रारेड किरणों का विश्लेषण दूसरे जीवन सहायक ग्रहों को खोजने में मदद करेगा। वर्तमान में C-25 इंजन कार्यरत है और पूर्णतः सामान्य प्रदर्शन कर रहा है। अब हम प्रमोशन से 700 सेकंड की दूरी पर आ चुके हैं। सापेक्ष गति 6.5 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड, ऊंचाई 191 किलोमीटर।
As we have told you about the Chandrayaan 3's upgrades in the aspects of enhanced robustness through extensive ground tests and simulation. During the last phase of landing, the module will have a vertical velocity of less than 1 meter per second and a horizontal velocity of less than 0.5 meters per second from a height of 3 meters. The lander legs are designed to be robust enough to drive the impact. The cameras are tuned to take pictures ahead of the landing and enable intelligent decision making for choice of best location to land, avoiding craters and boulders on lunar surface. The successive pictures will also enable the craft to determine its horizontal and vertical velocity in real time. Laser Doppler velocity sensor is an upgrade in Chandrayaan 3 over its predecessor. It helps to determine instantaneous velocity of craft. Insights into the behavior of Chandrayaan 2 in the last few minutes of its descent has revealed to the scientists the necessity for upgrade in the guidance algorithm. Inputs from various sensors are used by the autonomous navigation guidance algorithm of Chandrayaan 3 to plan the flight path to the most suitable landing spot. The engines of Chandrayaan 3 are capable of more gradual throttling also.
वर्तमान में हम प्रमोशन से 817 सेकंड की दूरी पर आ चुके हैं। करीब 950 सेकंड पर तृतीय चरण क्रायोजेनिक इंजन को शट ऑफ कर दिया जाएगा। और उचित अभिवृत्ति प्राप्त कर चंद्रयान 3 को यान से पृथक कर दिया जाएगा। चंद्रयान 3 को LVM-3M4 द्वारा एलिप्टिकल पार्किंग ऑर्बिट में लॉन्च करने के पश्चात 170 किलोमीटर की पेरिजी पर क्रमशः 5 बार मैन्यूवरिंग कमांड दिया जाएगा। 5वीं बार में यह पृथ्वी से चंद्रमा की ओर प्रस्थान करेगा, जिसे हम ल्यूनर ट्रांसफर ऑर्बिट के नाम से जानते हैं। फिर 5 अगस्त 2023 को यह चंद्रमा की कक्षा में प्रवेश करेगा और फिर क्रमशः 5 मैन्यूवरिंग के पश्चात प्रोपल्शन मॉड्यूल चंद्रमा की 100 किलोमीटर की वृत्ताकार कक्षा में स्थापित हो जाएगा। यहाँ यह उचित समय और अभिवृत्ति में लैंडर मॉड्यूल को पृथक करेगा और 23 अक्टूबर 2023 को चंद्रमा की सतह पर लैंडिंग की प्रक्रिया शुरू की जाएगी।
Plus 15 minutes.
We have come close to 900 seconds after the launch. Currently, the C-25 stage is thrusting. Current relative velocity is 9.29 kilometers per second.
जी हाँ, कुछ ही क्षणों में हम देखेंगे तृतीय चरण LVM-3M4 रॉकेट का चंद्रयान को उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर ले जा रहा है और उद्दिष्ट कक्षा प्राप्त होते ही और उचित अभिवृत्ति प्राप्त होते ही चंद्रयान 3 को अंतक्षेपित कर दिया जाएगा।
Cryo stage thrust cutoff. Satellite injection condition is achieved.
अभी पुष्टि की गई चंद्रयान 3 को प्रमोशन की कक्षा प्राप्त कर ली गई है।
Chandrayaan 3 satellite separated.
चंद्रयान 3 को सफलतापूर्वक अंतक्षेपित कर दिया गया है एलिप्टिकल पार्किंग ऑर्बिट पर।
Chandrayaan 3 has attained a major milestone
LVM-3
successfully.
Chandrayaan 3 mission accomplished. Handing over to mission director.
This is mission director. The LVM-3M4 Chandrayaan mission accomplished its precise satellite injection conditions. LVM-3M4 mission is successful. Jai Hind.
The launch has also added a feather in the cap of LVM-3 rocket. You can watch the jubilant congratulatory gestures of ISRO scientists in the Mission Control Center.
जी हाँ, चंद्रयान को सफलतापूर्वक अंतक्षेपित कर दिया गया है, लेकिन चंद्रयान 3 की यात्रा अभी जारी है। अब इस मिशन के बारे में हम अध्यक्ष महोदय से सुनेंगे और हम आपसे आज्ञा लेते हैं।
We sign off.
नमस्कार।
Up next is address by Secretary DOS Chairman ISRO.
Congratulations, India. Chandrayan 3 has started its journey towards moon. Our dear LVM-3 has already put Chandrayan 3 craft into the precise orbit around Earth. 170 by 36,500 kilometers was its intended target orbit, and it is precisely there now. And let us wish all the best for the Chandrayan 3 craft to make its further orbit racing maneuvers and travel towards moon in the coming days. So let me wish all the very best to Chandrayan 3 for its further journey towards moon. Before that, let me introduce the team behind this mission, the mission director, Mr. Mohan Kumar, and also the project director of LVM3, and we have also the mission director for the Chandrayan 3 craft, the project director of Chandrayan 3, Veera Muthuvel. So over to them, Mohan.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Minister of State for Science and Technology and Departments of Space and Atomic Energy, Dr. Jitendra Singh, respected Chairman ISRO and Secretary Department of Space, former secretaries of the department, invited dignitaries, respected dignitaries and invitees, I am very happy to report here that the LVM-3 M4 vehicle has injected the Chandrayan-3 satellite to the precise orbit, and once again the vehicle is proved to be the most reliable heavy lift vehicle of Indian Space Research Organization. Congratulations to the teamwork of ISRO family. I would like to appraise three things here. The vehicle systems are in the continuous process of quality improvement, especially in the event of our human rating efforts towards making the systems reliable. Secondly, the payload also, capability of the payload also is improved by mission strategies as well as vehicle engineering approaches. We are in the process of increasing the launch frequency of this vehicle considering the national requirements as well as satellite demands. Here, so many improvements we have incorporated in this vehicle. For example, the S200 nozzle, they are processed exactly as per the human rating standards, enabling us to have 100% NDT, and the inherent pocket erosion characteristics are removed. The L100 stage Vikas engine, mostly it is 100% qualified to be the human rated engine with indigenously developed LET throats, and the pocket, the back wall gas entry also is eliminated, and it is a perfect system. And CE20 stage also is perfectly, actually, sir. Good. So we will describe all those details later because of shortage of time. Yes, sir. I take this opportunity to thank all the mission executives because mission executives for all the supports all along the launch campaign process as well as the launch. Once the launch manifest is released and mission executives are identified, really this is a penance of so many across the ISRO centers, our launch vehicle centers, VSSC, LPSC, IPRC, IASU, SDSC, SHAR, URSC and SAC, along with all our industrial partners, major players to the small-scale industries who supply us with all the deliverables in time, quality products, the suppliers of chemicals, propellant ingredients, suppliers of avionics systems, and our own GOCO facility operators. Actually, the industrial manpower is really our ISRO's virtual manpower. Everybody's efforts went into this, and also the prayers and best wishes of all our seniors, retired executives, everyone's prayers and our own family members. I take this opportunity to pray God Almighty for all the blessings in the form of this success, which was the penance by the ISRO family for last 73 days. And my prayerful pranams for the successful continuous operations of the Chandrayan spacecraft. for its safe and soft landing on lunar surface and further experiments. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Respected Chairman ISRO, Center Directors, dignitaries and my team Chandrayan 3, very happy to note that our Chandrayan 3 has been injected into an intended orbit with very close orbital parameters. Congratulations and thanks to LVM3 team. And all our spacecraft health parameters are normal, including the power generations in both propulsion module and lander module. Our journey to moon has begun now for the most awaited soft landing. We'll be closely monitoring and controlling the spacecraft from ISTRAC Bangalore. Many critical events are lined up, starting from earthbound maneuvers, insertion into the lunar orbit, and separation of lander, and set of deboost maneuvers, and finally the power descent phase for a soft landing. I take this opportunity to thank Chairman ISRO, Director URSC, and all the center directors for entrusting me this opportunity, who have been the motivational and guidance force behind this mission. My special thanks to Chandrayan 3 project executives, Associate Project Director Kalpana, Deputy Project Directors, Project Managers across the ISRO centers who have provided an excellent support in building the spacecraft. My special thanks to the expert committees for their constant guidance throughout the various stages of the project. I also thank the various work centers and industries who have contributed directly and indirectly to this mission. My special thanks to URSC council members, group directors, deputy directors across the ISRO centers, and looking forward for the soft landing with all your wishes and blessings from the God. Thank you.
We have our Honorable Minister for Space, Minister of State for Space, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, amongst us during this historic occasion of success of launching of LVM3. So we would like to hear a few words from him. Over to you, sir.
It is indeed a moment of glory for India and a moment of destiny for all of us over here at Sriharikota who are a part of the history in making. Thank you, Team ISRO, for making India proud. And thank you, Honorable PM Narendra Modi ji, for having made this possible by unlocking the gates of Sriharikota and enabling the India's space sector. You would recall, Honorable Prime Minister had very recently said, sky is not the limit. And living by his words, I think the Chandrayaan today has gone beyond the limits of sky to discover the unexplored horizons of the universe beyond. Ladies and gentlemen, this day today, the 14th of July 2023, is also a day of vindication. Vindication of the dream that Vikram Sarabhai saw 6 decades ago. He might have been short of resources, but never short of confidence. And when we see those pictures of a launcher vehicle being carried on the carriage of a bicycle, without any remorse, without any slightest embarrassment, that is because Vikram and his team had faith in themselves, faith in India's potential, faith in India's acumen. And today, here, we are vindicating and we are reiterating India's indigenous capabilities, living up to the ideal of Atmanirbhar Bharat. And before I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, as Mother India enters into the next 25 years of this Amrit Kal, she pledges to play a leading global role in the emerging world scenario of 21st century. Thank you and congratulations once again.
Thank you, sir. We will also introduce the directors of the centers who have done all those great work of building the rocket, building the scientific instruments for Chandrayaan 3, the Chandrayaan spacecraft itself, and made all those critical systems, and also the agencies who are going to handle the rest of the mission part, the tracking and the ground stations, and all those teams are here. So I request the directors of those centers to join. First, Director of Vikram Sarabhai Space Center.
Good afternoon, India. In last 1 year, this is the 10th mission, including the precise landing of the reusable launch vehicle. So with this mission, this is the 7th mission of LVM-3, the successful mission. With this, the success rate of LVM-3 is 100%, and this is the ideal vehicle for Gaganyaan. Some of the changes that we are incorporating in Gaganyaan, we have implemented here, and the Mark III has crossed the reliability of 0.9 and inching forward. So I take this opportunity to salute the entire ISRO community, especially the VSC community and all launch vehicle centers, industry partners for making the stages, making the sub-assemblies and testing. In fact, this is the 3rd launch of LVM-3 in 1 year. You know, the realizing the stages, assembling, testing, and then launching 3 LVM-3s in 1 year is a Herculean task. I salute the industry as well as all the ISRO centers for this. And I wish all the very best. We know that when the beginning is good, the ending has to be good. I wish all the very best to the Chandrayaan for its solitary journey through the vastness of space and for making a feather-like soft landing in the 4th week of August. Good luck. Thank you.
Dr. Narayanan, Director LPSC.
Good afternoon to all of you. It is a historical event for Indian space program and a proud moment for all the Indians across the globe on this momentous occasion of the successful launch of the Chandrayaan 3. 3-in-1 spacecraft in the required orbit with the highest level of precision by our heaviest launch vehicle LVM-3. After the 2 launches of LVM-3 vehicle this year, this vehicle is realized in the record shortest time. Today, once again, all the vehicle systems have performed, demonstrated the 7th successful launch. As you all know, the entire spacecraft community has put wholehearted effort during last 4 years, and we have realized a marvelous, great scientific satellite. For this mission, the entire vehicle performance is as expected, as predicted. In fact, the precision in which the satellite is launched shows the reliability of this vehicle. And we too have 4 liquid propulsion modules, 2 in the launch vehicle. The L110 stage, C25 stage, it has performed extremely well along with all other vehicle systems. We too have 2 more propulsion modules, one for taking the spacecraft to the moon, another one for soft landing. I think it is already well integrated, the system health is very good. Today's success is the culmination of the dedicated, smart and hard work of all the ISRO team members and the work culture of ISRO and the review process what we follow. I am sure all further mission operations will be a grand success and we'll have the successful soft landing. On this occasion, let me congratulate and compliment the members of ISRO team, our family members who have really sacrificed, the partners from industry and academia, and the various review fora. Thank you. Jai Hind.
The Chandrayaan craft was built at the URAO Satellite Center, so I request the Director of URC to speak.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity to first thank my colleagues from the Launch Vehicle Center for providing a textbook-like launch for Chandrayaan 3 on its journey towards moon. Thank you very much. And as Director LPSC and Director VSSC mentioned, realizing this kind of launch vehicle, third launch vehicle within a year's time is indeed a Herculean task. And thank you very much for the effort that has been put by all the members of the launch vehicle community and the industry supporting them. Coming to Chandrayan 3, Mohan was telling that it is a penance. In fact, it is a penance of the Chandrayan 3 team for the last 4 years, which has come today as an outcome. It is sitting like a brain sitting inside the head of a human being on that mighty vehicle. On top of that, that satellite was sitting, and it was such a happy moment to see that satellite getting separated. And our work continues from now for the next 42 days till we reach the lunar orbit and touch down softly on moon. So we will speak the rest of the things after the soft landing on top of moon. Till then, thank you very much for all the members of the satellite community and the industry for your support, which has been continuing over several years, and I am sure will continue in future also. Thank you very much.
Space Applications Center Ahmedabad plays very important role in our scientific instruments and building of the satellites. Over to Director SAC, Nilesh Desai.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. At the outset, let me compliment Team ISRO for this excellent work, and especially vehicle team as well as the project team. And as we begin this historic journey towards moon, well begun is half done, as it is said. So I'm sure that we'll succeed in our effort and endeavor to land on moon safe and in secured manner with a soft landing after 45 days. So I wish all the best to all the people who have contributed directly or indirectly, and especially to the project team, spacecraft team, as well as my team at Space Application Center, who has developed sensors and other hazard detection and avoidance system which will help for a secured and safe landing on moon. So once again, I thank all who have contributed in this mission. Thank you.
Director of this center, Satish Dhawan Space Center, is the chairman of the Launch Authorization Board and also realizing the solid motors of this rocket. So over to Director SDSC Shar Rajarajan.
Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, respected Chairman, our mentors and the dignitaries present here, and the entire ISRO family, a very successful launch, and hearty congratulations to all the LVM-3, M4 and Chandrayan-3 mission. So, once again, the Fat Boy has done its job and put a very precisely our prestigious lunar mission Chandrayan-3 in the transfer orbit. And I congratulate the SDSC SHAR team, because throughout this launch, we had many launch campaigns of C-55 and 56. Along with that, we are proud to have this. In spite of the weather conditions here, we have successfully launched LVM-3 in the prescribed launch window time between July 12th and 19th. And we had a very good, smooth campaign here, and all the hearty congratulations to the entire launch vehicle team, as well as for the last 2 months for hosting the Chandrayan-3 team here and carrying out all the tests to make sure that Chandrayan-3 is also ready for the mission. And I also thank our entire logistics team who handled this huge crowd throughout this campaign period, in particular last 2-3 days. And my sincere thanks to the various Indian industries who are now participating in various aspects of solid motor processing as well as the assembly activities of our launch vehicle to make it successful. And I wish a glorious success in the future to come. And I wish, as mentioned in the last week of August, to have a successful soft landing of Chandrayan-3 lander on the moon surface and to make history. Once again, thank you. Jai Hind.
I request all center directors to join on the podium. Please come, all of you. Can you lower this? Please come. Please come here. Come. Please come.
ನಿಮ್ ಹೊಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಕಳೆನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೊಲವು ತುಂಬಾ ಹಸಿರಾಗಿದೆ. ನಂಗೂ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಉಪಾಯ ಹೇಳ್ತೀಯಾ?
ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜಮೀನಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾಯರ್ನ ಲಾಡಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸಿಂಪಡಿಸಿ.
ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಕೂಡ ಲಾಡಿಸ್ ತರದ ಔಷಧಿಯನ್ನು ಸಿಂಪಡಿಸಿದೆ.
ನೀವು ಕೇಳುವ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ನಂಬಬೇಡಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಹೊಳೆಯುವ ಹಳದಿ ಲೋಹವು ಚಿನ್ನವಲ್ಲ. ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕಲೆ ನಾಶಕಗಳನ್ನು ಲಾಡಿಸ್ ತರಹನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳುವುದು ಅದು ಲಾಡಿಸ್ ಆಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೌದು, ವಿಶ್ವಾಸವು ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಮಾತುಗಳಿಂದ ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಪರಿಣಾಮದಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತದೆ.
ಅದು ನಿಜ. ಈಗ ನಾನು ಬಾಯರ್ನ ಲಾಡಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನೇ ಖರೀದಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ.
ಬಾಯರ್ನ ಲಾಡಿಸ್ ಯಾವುದೇ ಸಾಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲ.
नमस्कार, आप सभी दर्शकों का हार्दिक स्वागत करते हैं इसरो के एक और प्रमोशन मिशन के सीधे प्रसारण में। मैं विकास स्वर्णकार अपने साथी कमेंटेटर मिस माधुरी पी के साथ सतीश धवन अंतरिक्ष केंद्र शाह श्रीहरिकोटा से प्रमोशन का आंखों देखा हाल आप तक लाने के लिए हम श्रीहरिकोटा से के मिशन नियंत्रण कक्ष से इस प्रमोशन से जुड़ी सारी जानकारियां आप तक उपलब्ध करा रहे हैं। यह मिशन जिसका नाम है GSLV F12 NVS-1 मिशन, इसमें GSLV F12 रॉकेट का प्रमोशन आज 29 मई 2023 को भारतीय मानक समय के अनुसार सुबह 10:42 पर सतीश धवन अंतरिक्ष केंद्र के द्वितीय प्रमोशन मंच से किया जा रहा है।
Namaskar and good morning to the viewers. You are watching the launch event of GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission. Live on Doordarshan National. I am Madhuri giving the commentary in English for the launch event. With me is my co-commentator Shri Vikas Swarnkar giving commentary in Hindi. The launch of GSLV F12 NVS-01 is scheduled to take place today, the 29th of May 2023 at 10:42 hours Indian Standard Time from the second launch pad at Satish Dhawan Space Center, Shar, Sriharikota, the spaceport of India. Apart from DD National, the live streaming is also available on ISRO website, YouTube and Twitter.
CDP Roger. Control noted.
What area can switch on the radiation?
Today's launch will be the fourth launch of ISRO this year. Now may I ask the curtain raiser for this video, for this launch mission to be played.
Roger.
Control event number 4.
GSLV F12 is the 15th flight of India's geosynchronous satellite launch vehicle GSLV and the 9th flight with indigenous cryo stage. This is the 6th operational flight of GSLV with indigenous cryogenic stage. The Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, IRNSS, with an operational name of NAVIC, stands for Navigation with Indian Constellation. It provides accurate real-time positioning and timing services over India and the region extending approximately 1,500 kilometers around the Indian mainland. The variety of services offered by NAVIC aid in different applications like vehicle tracking and fleet management, location-based services integrated into mobile phones, terrestrial navigation aid for travelers, time dissemination, and more, including services to our strategic users. NAVIC consists of 3 segments: space, ground, and user. The space segment consists of base layer constellation of 7 satellites in GEO and GSO plane. NVS-1 satellite is the first of the second generation navigation satellite series. NVS-1 is based on the standard I2K bus structure and has a mass of more than 2,200 kilograms. NVS-1 satellite has a navigation payload working in L1, L5 and S frequency bands. As compared to the first generation satellite series, The second generation satellite series includes L1 navigation band and incorporates indigenously developed rubidium atomic clock. The inclusion of L1 navigation band improves the position, navigation and timing services for civilian users and also facilitates interoperability with other GNSS services. The NVS-1 satellite is designed for a mission life of about 12 years.
Minus 25 minutes.
The GSLV
Request
F12
all
will
stations
place the
change over to
NVS-1
channel 2
satellite
at T
into a
minus 24
geosynchronous
minutes.
transfer orbit.
No confirmation
It will
is
be
needed to
launched
control.
from the second launch pad of Satish Dhawan Space Center, Shar Sriharikota, the spaceport of India.
अभी अभी आपने एक संक्षिप्त कट एंड रेजर वीडियो देखा इस मिशन से जुड़ा हुआ। इस मिशन में मुख्य उपग्रह के रूप में NVS-1 नामक नौवहन उपग्रह है, जिसे निर्धारित 170 किलोमीटर की पेरिजी तथा 36,744 किलोमीटर की एपोजी वाली भूतुल्य स्थानांतरण कक्षा में 19.36 डिग्री के झुकाव के साथ प्रक्षेपित किया जाना है। NVS-1 उपग्रह, जो कि नेविगेशन सैटेलाइट की श्रेणी में द्वितीय पीढ़ी का उन्नत उपग्रह है, यह नेविगेशन विद इंडियन कॉन्स्टलेशन नाविक द्वारा प्राप्त सुविधाओं में बढ़ोतरी कर देश में नेविगेशन जैसी सुविधाओं को और उन्नत बनाकर भारत का इस दिशा में स्वदेशीकरण की ओर एक और कदम है।
COT to TCTC, all radar signals are normal. TCTC copied.
Control to note, event number 481 and 482 completed.
बहुत से छात्रगण यहाँ पर आंखों देखा अनुभव लेने आए हैं। यह बहुत ही रोमांचक अनुभव होता है जब रॉकेट का प्रक्षेपण हम देखते हैं।
We are 23 minutes from the launch. The GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission intends to place the NVS-01, a navigation satellite weighing 2,232 kgs, into an orbit with perigee at 170 kilometers and an apogee of 36,744 kilometers with 19.36 degrees inclination. It is going to be an eastward mission for a geostationary satellite. Today's launch will be the fourth launch of ISRO this year, while the second launch pad is playing host for second time in 2023. This is 15th launch of GSLV, which flew its first ever mission in 2001. Present launch is 9th flight with indigenous cryo stage, of which 3 were developmental and this one, 6th, is the operational flight.
इस वर्ष का यह चौथा प्रमोशन मिशन है। SSLV D2 से सफल शुरुआत करते हुए LVM-3 OneWeb India 2 मिशन, फिर PSLV C55 Telios 2 मिशन हमने देखा और आज GSLV F12 NVS-1 हम देखने जा रहे हैं। यह GSLV Mark II श्रेणी में इसरो की चतुर्थ पीढ़ी का रॉकेट है। यह इस श्रेणी में इसकी 15वीं प्रमोशन होगा।
ROD, Roger.
COI to ROD, all EA systems are ready for launch.
GSLV F12 के साथ स्वदेशी क्रायो इंजन भी संलग्न है और यह उसकी 9वीं उड़ान होगी।
ROD, Roger.
RSO to ROD, range safety systems are ready for
This year, ISRO has conducted the launch of SSLV D2 EOS-07 mission from the first launch pad in the month of February. In March, LVM-3 M3 OneWeb India 2 mission was held from the second launch pad. PSLV C55 Telios 2 mission successfully lifted off in April from the first launch pad, and here we are, all set for the GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission from the second launch pad.
अब हम प्रमोशन से 20 मिनट 23 सेकंड की दूरी पर हैं।
ROD to Mission Director, range is ready for GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission.
Mission Director Roger. TTC Director to Mission Director. TTC Director confirms readiness of his track stations and network for supporting GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission. Mission Director Roger.
Minus 20 minutes.
Control event number 506 completed.
GSLV F12 NVS-1 मिशन के प्रमोशन की उल्टी गिनती 27.5 घंटे पूर्व शुरू हो चुकी है। इस दौरान यान को पावर ऑन किया गया है। सभी तंत्रों तथा प्रणालियों की स्वास्थ्य जांच की जा रही है। L40 स्टेज तथा GS2 स्टेज जो कि तरल नोदक पर आधारित चरण है, उन पे भराव की स्थिति प्राप्त कर भराव पूर्ण कर लिया गया है। ऐसा ही क्रायो स्टेज के लिए भी स्वास्थ्य जांच पूर्ण की जा चुकी है तथा लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन, लिक्विड हाइड्रोजन का भराव सुनिश्चित किया जा चुका है। सभी सहायक तथा सुरक्षा तंत्र अपेक्षानुकूल प्रदर्शन कर रहे हैं। साथ ही उपग्रह को भी पावर ऑन कर स्वास्थ्य जांच तथा बैटरी आवेशन किया जा रहा है। सभी प्रणोदक टंकियों पर उचित दबाव सुनिश्चित किया जा चुका है। रियल टाइम प्रोग्राम को भी ऑन बोर्ड कंप्यूटर पर लोड कर दिया गया है।
Has cleared to go ahead with the countdown and launch operations of GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission. Based on the readiness of the GSLV F12 launch vehicle, NVS-01 spacecraft, range systems, TTC network, and considering the favorable weather conditions, Mission Director authorizes commencement of the launch operation sequence for GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission for launch at 10:42 hours IST today, that is 29th May 2023.
All stations to note, Mission Director has given authorization for launch.
ಕ್ಷೇಮ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಮೊಸರು.
Authorized for H tank and O tank.
The countdown for the launch has been 27.5 hours long that had started at 7:42 in the morning on Sunday. During the countdown, the launch vehicle systems, liquid propellant storage and servicing systems at the launch complex, and the range instrumentation systems
Data loggers are on SHA 2 station.
carry out final preparation activities leading to the launch. And you have a little while ago watched the Mission Director Shri Enquiry authorizing the start of automatic launch sequence. It is basically a capsule of very critical functions of the launch vehicle stages and satellites run and monitored by ground-based computers. If all the parameters are found acceptable, the onboard computer takes over and very soon thereafter the actual launch takes place.
Minus 17 minutes.
सभी वैज्ञानिक अभियंतागण अपने कार्य कुशलतापूर्वक पूर्ण करके इस मिशन के लिए आतुरता से इंतजार कर रहे हैं। कुछ अंतिम गतिविधियां तथा जांच बाकी हैं। अभी हमने देखा मिशन डायरेक्टर ने ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस शुरू करने का अनुमोदन दे दिया है। ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस शुरू करने के पश्चात पूर्ण नियंत्रण ऑनबोर्ड कंप्यूटर के पास चला जाता है। रॉकेट के पास खुद का ऑनबोर्ड कंप्यूटर है, वह पूरे जांच
Minus 16 minutes.
पूर्ण रूप से सुनिश्चित करता है और तत्पश्चात कोर स्टेज के प्रज्वलन का कमांड लेगा।
ALSC Roger.
DS servers activated. MC confirms data from SHAR1 and SHAR2.
Automatic launch sequence initiated for GSLV F12 launch. ALS in auto mode.
आप सभी दर्शकों के लिए अब प्रस्तुत है इस लॉन्च व्हीकल GSLV Mark II GSLV F12 का संक्षिप्त इंटीग्रेशन वीडियो।
minus 15 minutes.
प्रथम चरण जो कि ठोस नोदक पर आधारित चरण है, इसका यह नोजल एंड सेगमेंट कोर बेस श्राउड के साथ यहाँ SVAB सेकेंडरी व्हीकल असेंबली बिल्डिंग पर लाया गया है। तत्पश्चात ऊपर की ओर मिडिल सेगमेंट, बहुत ही सावधानी पूर्वक, सतर्कता पूर्वक, धैर्य पूर्वक ये कार्य किया जाता है। इसमें कोई भी त्रुटि की कोई गुंजाइश नहीं होती है। कोर स्टेज में 3 मिडिल सेगमेंट्स होते हैं तथा अंत में ऊपर की ओर यह हेड एंड सेगमेंट लगाया जा रहा है। यह पूरा कार्य SSAB बिल्डिंग पर किया जा रहा है। अब ये देख रहे हैं आप इग्नाइटर। यह इंटर स्टेज है जिसे अब समायोजित कर दिया गया है प्रथम चरण पर। अब आप देख रहे हैं यह L40 स्टेज है जो कि तरल नोदक पर आधारित चरण है। इसमें विकास इंजन लगा हुआ है। UH-25 तथा N2O4 पर आधारित यह चरण। ऐसे 4 स्ट्रेप-ऑन बूस्टर्स कोर बूस्टर S139 के साथ में संलग्न किए जा रहे हैं।
Why you should download and register at Yono Games. Welcome bonus 50 rupees. 7 days login bonus 100 rupees. Every day's share app bonus up to 50 rupees. Download and register and win now.
अब यह प्रथम चरण पूर्णतः तैयार हो चुका है तथा इसे SSAB बिल्डिंग से निकालकर VAB तक लाया गया।
The second stage, GL40HT, having prepared in a separate facility, is being moved to the vehicle assembly building for integration about the first stage. That is the cryogenic upper stage. Entering into the vehicle assembly building, carefully being tilted and being integrated above the second stage. The equipment bay for the compatibility checks, and there are the visuals from the clean room for the satellite preparation.
Minus 12 minutes.
This is the concept of encapsulated assembly, where the satellite is being ensconced into the heat shield house, into the clean room facility, which is a separate facility, and then as an integral unit, it will be moved to the vehicle assembly building and then integrated to the launch vehicle.
Completed.
This is a 4-meter diameter ogive payload fairing. And this is the second time a similar payload fairing and a similar design is going to fly.
उपग्रह को ऊष्मा कवच के अंदर सुरक्षित कर दिया गया है और अब पूर्णतः तैयार GSLV F12 को व्हीकल असेंबली बिल्डिंग से उम्बिलिकल टावर लाया जा रहा है।
The second launch pad is based on the concept of integrate, transfer, launch.
जी हाँ, यह नज़ारा GSLV F12 का है जो कि पूर्णतः तैयार है अपने मिशन को पूरा करने के लिए। यह द्वितीय प्रमोचन मंच है।
Views from the Mission Control Center on your screens now.
ऑटोमेटिक लॉन्च सीक्वेंस जारी है तथा अंतिम जांच के पश्चात प्रज्वलन का कमांड इशू किया जाएगा। अब हम प्रज्वलन से 10 मिनट 13 सेकंड की दूरी पर हैं।
minus 10 minutes.
Health of cryom-hydraulic system is normal and cyclic charging is in progress. DS2 redundancy and actuation.
अभी आपने इंटीग्रेशन वीडियो देखा, हम उसको और थोड़ा वर्णन करते हैं। GSLV F12 एक त्रिचरणीय यान है। प्रथम चरण में ठोस नोदक वाला S139 बूस्टर के साथ 4 L40 जो कि तरल नोदक पर आधारित स्ट्रेपॉन्स हैं, वह संयुक्त रूप से GSLV के प्रथम चरण कहलाते हैं। कोर बूस्टर लगभग 4800 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करता है, वहीं 4 L40 स्ट्रेपॉन बूस्टर्स विकास इंजन के साथ 2720 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करते हैं। L40 के विकास इंजन में इलेक्ट्रोडायनामिक एक्चुएटर्स लगे होते हैं जिससे यान को पिच, याव तथा रोल नियंत्रण प्रदान किया जाता है। द्वितीय चरण में फिर से तरल नोदक पर आधारित चरण है।
DS2 prime chain actuation in progress.
UH-25 तथा N2O4 ईंधन के रूप में इस्तेमाल किए जाते हैं। यह दाब भारित उच्च प्रणोद वाले विकास इंजन लगभग 846 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करते हैं। इसमें भी इंजन जिम्बल के लिए इलेक्ट्रोडायनामिक एक्चुएटर्स लगे हुए हैं। इस चरण को GL40HT भी कहा जाता है क्योंकि इसमें हाई थ्रस्ट विकास इंजन्स लगे हुए हैं। इस चरण का प्रज्वलन काल 141 सेकंड का होता है। ऊपर की ओर चलते हुए तृतीय चरण जो कि क्रायो इंजन से संयुक्त है। क्रायो इंजन पूर्णतः स्वदेशी क्रायो इंजन लिक्विड प्रोपल्शन सिस्टम सेंटर द्वारा VSSC तथा IPRC के सहयोग से विकसित किया गया है। वर्तमान में GSLV में क्रायो इंजन के उन्नत वर्जन C15 का इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। इस चरण में लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन तथा लिक्विड हाइड्रोजन का ईंधन के रूप में इस्तेमाल होता है और इसमें कुल 74 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न होता है। इस चरण का कार्यकाल लगभग 841 सेकंड का होता है। यही वह अंतिम चरण है जो उपग्रह को उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर ले जाता है तथा अंतक्षेपित करता है। बहुत से गणमान्य व्यक्ति यहाँ उपस्थित हैं।
On your TV screens, the dignitaries getting ready for witnessing the launch event of GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission. Ahead of the launch, let me inform the viewers the flight events that are going to take place during the mission. The total duration of mission is about 18 minutes. The L40 ignition takes place 4.8 seconds ahead of T0. After ascertaining the health of L40 strap-on engines, the ignition of core S139 motor takes place. The S139 stage, based on HTPB-based solid propellant, burns for 110 seconds and burns out at an altitude of 41 kilometers. In the meantime, the rocket gains a relative velocity of 1.5 kilometers per second. The four strap-ons, called the L40, operating on Earth storable liquid propellant based Vikas engine, burn for about 150 seconds. The ignition of second stage, called the GES-2, takes place soon after the shutoff of L40s. The separation of GS-1 takes place 2 seconds after the ignition of GS-2. This is called hot separation, in which the upper stage exhaust imparts thrust over the spent lower stage to ensure impact-free separation event. By now, the rocket will be at 75 kilometers altitude. The closed loop guidance is initiated, indicating that the rocket no longer needs to steer itself for a better journey through the atmosphere. 237 seconds past the launch time, the heat shield separation takes place when the rocket is at an altitude of 115 kilometers. By the time the second stage completes its operation of 142 seconds, the rocket gains a relative velocity of 4.7 kilometers per second. The second stage, GS-2, is separated few seconds later. Cryogenic upper stage, CUS-15, is the third stage based on liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen stored at cryogenic temperatures as propellants. This stage operates for 13.5 minutes and increases the relative velocity of the rocket from 4.7 kilometers per second to 9.7 kilometers per second. The satellite NVS-01 is injected at an altitude of 251.5 kilometers with a relative velocity of 9.7 kilometers per second. Let me remind the viewers that the geosynchronous transfer orbit of NVS-01 has a perigee of 170 kilometers, which is how far the satellite will be at a point nearest to the Earth, and apogee, or the farthest point from Earth, of 36,744 kilometers nominally. Thrust burns of the satellite will then take it to the geostationary orbit.
Pyro and wall battery on.
अब हम प्रमोचन के पास आ चुके हैं. अब प्रमोचन 3 मिनट 24 सेकंड की दूरी पर है. इस मिशन के मुख्य उपग्रह NVS-1, जिसका कुल भार 2232 kg है, और इस श्रेणी में यह L5 तथा S बैंड के अलावा L1 फ्रीक्वेंसी बैंड का उपयोग अतिरिक्त सेवाएं प्रदान करने के लिए कर रहा है. इस उपग्रह में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण पेलोड है रुबिडियम परमाणविक आवृत्ति मानक घड़ी. परमाणविक घड़ी एक स्थिर आवृत्ति मानक प्रदान करता है जो कि सभी नेविगेशन पेलोड के लिए एक निर्देश का काम करेगा. NVS-1 उपग्रह यह प्रयोग कर अपनी परिशुद्ध नौवहन सुविधाएं को उन्नत बनाते हुए भारत के विकास के लिए समर्पित है.
We are about 2.5 minutes from the launch time. The network of ISRO telemetry tracking and command network stations view the launch vehicle along its trajectory. The trajectory parameters and separation events are ascertained through these stations. For the present mission, Shah, Port Blair, Brunei and Beak stations are participating.
Minus 2 minutes.
सभी दर्शक दीर्घा बड़ी बेसब्री से इंतजार करते हुए प्रमोचन का. मौसम प्रमोचन के लिए पूरी तरह अनुकूल है.
Bright sunny morning here at Sriharikota.
सर्वप्रथम हम देखेंगे T-4.8 सेकेंड्स पर चारों L40 इंजिन्स का इग्निशन. तत्पश्चात T0 पर कोर बूस्टर का प्रज्वलन होगा और उसके बाद यान का उत्थापन.
There's a little over 1 minute from the launch.
Boat tank ready.
minus 1 minute,
All subs arm.
minus 55 seconds,
L40 VHPP opened.
minus 50 seconds,
Battle ready. All sequencers arm.
minus 45 seconds,
Tank ready. Cryo stage ready.
minus 40 seconds,
DS2
40 seconds
VHPP
to go.
opened.
Stand by for the launch.
minus 35 seconds, minus 30 seconds,
L40 VSPP opened.
minus 25 seconds,
DS2 VSPP opened.
minus 20 seconds, minus 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Plus 5 seconds.
Lift off normal.
प्रज्वलन और सफलतापूर्ण उत्थापन GSLV F12 का
P3 tracking. P2 tracking.
चारों L40s तथा कोर बूस्टर S139 अपना सामान्य निष्पादन करते हुए उद्देश्य कक्षा की ओर अग्रसर।
Performance normal.
Nominal launch of the GSLV F12 mission. The rocket flying by spewing fire into the clear sky of Sriharikota. GS1 and L40s together thrusting currently. The Shah ground station is currently tracking.
Sharp 1 main auto. Sharp 2 is in main auto.
वर्तमान में प्रथम चरण प्रज्वलित है। इसका कार्यकाल लगभग 110 सेकंड का होगा। इसमें 4800 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न होता है।
P2 change over to SCBT2.
The core 139 motor will continue to burn for 110 seconds, while the L40s continue to burn
First
for a
stage
total of
performance
150
normal.
seconds. Thrust developed by the GS1 S139 motor is 4,815 kilonewtons, while each of the L40s develops 762.5 kilonewtons.
Ban out.
प्रथम चरण को कट ऑफ कर दिया गया है।
Plus 2
L40 अभी भी प्रज्वलित हैं।
This is a confirmation for the S139 burnout. L40s still developing thrust.
कुछ ही क्षणों में हम देखेंगे द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन तथा प्रथम चरण का पृथकन।
Current altitude is 67 kilometers.
40 stages thrust cut off. Stage separated. Second stage ignited.
जी हाँ, द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है जैसा निर्धारित था और प्रथम चरण को यान से पृथक कर दिया गया है।
The second stage has ignited and the first stage has been separated from the ongoing launch vehicle. Currently, Shah station is tracking.
Plus 3 minutes.
जी हाँ, यान पूर्णतः निर्धारित
Second
पथ
stage
को
performance
अनुकरण करता
normal.
हुआ जा रहा है और द्वितीय चरण भी सामान्य निष्पादन कर रहा है। इस चरण का कुल कार्यकाल लगभग 140 सेकंड का होगा। इस दौरान यह 846 किलोन्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न कर यान को करीब 130 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई तक ले जाएगा।
High thrust Vikas engine developing a nominal vacuum thrust of 846 kilonewtons. Vikas engine is a pump-fed engine
Second stage performance normal.
of UH25 as fuel and N2O4 as oxidizer.
Plus 4 minutes.
Payload fairing separated.
चूंकि यान घने वातावरण से बाहर जा चुका है, इसलिए ऊष्मा कवच की आवश्यकता नहीं रह गई है और इसलिए इसे यान से पृथक कर दिया गया है।
Two major flight events have taken place in recent past. The initiation of closed loop guidance and the separation of payload fairing.
Performance normal.
Currently the vehicle is going as per the predicted trajectory. Shar and Port Blair stations currently
Stage
tracking.
is authorized.
द्वितीय चरण सामान्य निष्पादन करते हुए यान को उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर ले जाता हुआ।
Stage thrust cut off. Second stage separate.
5 minutes.
Thrust ignition is commanded.
द्वितीय चरण को कट ऑफ के बाद में यान से पृथक कर दिया गया है और अंतिम चरण क्रायो अपर स्टेज का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है।
The cryogenic upper stage has commenced its operation. The nominal burn duration for cryo stage is more than 13 minutes. Nominal thrust of the cryogenic upper stage is 73.97 kilonewtons, while the operated thrust is 83.34 kilonewtons. The cryogenic propellants have a specific impulse of 453.5 seconds.
तृतीय चरण, जिसे हम क्रायो अपर स्टेज के नाम से जानते हैं, यह बहुत ही जटिल इंजन होता है, इसलिए यहाँ काफी तालियों के साथ गड़गड़ाहट हम सुन सकते हैं जब तृतीय चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू हुआ। कोई भी त्रुटि की कोई गुंजाइश नहीं होती है अंतरिक्ष मिशन में। जैसा कि आपको बताया गया, यह मिशन पूर्वी दिशा का मिशन है, इसलिए हमारे ग्राउंड स्टेशन शार तथा पोर्ट ब्लेयर स्थित भू स्टेशन इसे ट्रैक कर रहे हैं। तृतीय चरण का निष्पादन सामान्य और यान अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर बढ़ता हुआ जा रहा है। अब हम प्रमोचन से 405 सेकंड की दूरी पर आ चुके हैं। ऊंचाई 145 किलोमीटर तथा सापेक्ष गति 5 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड।
We are more than 400 seconds past the launch time. Current altitude of the launch vehicle is 146 kilometers and the relative velocity 5.14 kilometers per second. Let me describe to the viewers in the meantime the description of the satellite taking ride in this mission. Navigation services using Indian constellation of satellites provides accurate real-time positioning and timing services over India.
Cryo stage performance
and
normal.
1,500 kilometers around India. The Indian Regional Navigation Satellite System, IRNSS, goes by an operational name Navik. The launch of IRNSS 1A took place in July 2013, and with the launch of IRNSS 1I in April 2018, the constellation of Navik with first generation of satellites, that is 3 in geostationary and 4 in geosynchronous orbit, was complete. The present satellite, NVS-01, is the first in the second generation navigation satellite series, which will ensure continuity of legacy Navik services. The satellite has navigation and ranging payloads. The navigation payload operates in L1, L5 and S bands and employs a tri-band antenna. The heart of the navigation payload is the rubidium atomic frequency standard RAFS, the atomic clock which acts as a stable frequency reference for the navigation payload. This clock is indigenously developed by the Space Application Center of ISRO at Ahmedabad. The RAFS is one thing that distinguishes second generation of navigation satellites from the first. The other noteworthy feature is the inclusion of L1 navigation band, which is popular for providing PNT, that is precision, navigation and timing services for users and for interoperability with other GNSS signals. The ranging payload consists of C/C transponder used for two-way CDMA ranging to facilitate precise orbit determination. NAVIC is significant for India in the application of navigation in terrestrial, aerial and maritime areas, geodetic surveying, fleet management and marine fisheries. Apart from these, NAVIC is useful in providing location-based services in mobile devices. Timing services are provided to the agencies for which accurate time is of utmost importance, like financial institutions, power grids and such. The other applications include Internet of Things, strategic and emergency services.
तृतीय चरण क्रायोजेनिक इंजन के सभी तंत्र सामान्य रूप से कार्य कर रहे हैं। इस चरण का कुल कार्यकाल लगभग 840 सेकंड का होगा। यह वह अंतिम चरण है जो उपग्रह को उचित कक्षा में पहुंचाकर अंतःक्षेपित करेगा। इस दौरान आपको इस उपग्रह से जुड़ी कुछ जानकारियां उपलब्ध कराते हैं। देश के नौवहन आवश्यकताओं को पूरा करने के लिए इसरो द्वारा नाविक नेविगेशन विद इंडियन कॉन्स्टलेशन की स्थापना की गई। नाविक को इंडियन रीजनल नेविगेशन सैटेलाइट सिस्टम IRNS के नाम से भी जाना जाता है। नाविक को 7 उपग्रहों के नक्षत्र के साथ डिजाइन किया गया है। इस नक्षत्र के 3 उपग्रह भूस्थैतिक कक्षा में रहते हैं तथा अन्य 4 उपग्रह भूमध्य रेखा से 29 डिग्री के झुकाव के साथ भूतुल्य काली कक्षा में रखे गए हैं। नाविक 2 सेवाएं प्रदान करता है, नागरिक उपयोगकर्ताओं के लिए तथा प्रतिबंधित सेवाओं के लिए। इन दोनों सेवाओं में L5 और S बैंड का उपयोग किया जाता है। नौवहन के कवरेज में भारत और उसके सीमाओं से लगे 1500 किलोमीटर के क्षेत्र में यह सुविधाएं प्रदान करने में सक्षम होगा। इसमें नौवहन सिग्नल 20 मीटर के विभेदन क्षमता और 50 नैनोसेकंड से अधिक की समय परिशुद्धता के लिए डिजाइन किया गया है। NVS-1 L1 बैंड पर अपनी अतिरिक्त सेवाएं प्रदान करने के लिए भी डिजाइन किया गया है। नाविक के अन्य अनुप्रयोगों में है भौमिक, आकाशीय तथा समुद्री नौवहन, भूगणितीय सर्वेक्षण, आपातकालीन सेवाएं, मोबाइल की स्थिति आधारित सेवाएं, उपग्रहों का कक्षा निर्धारण, महत्वपूर्ण संस्थानों में सामयिक सेवाएं, इंटरनेट ऑफ थिंग्स और ऐसे अनेक युक्ति अनुप्रयोग शामिल हैं। तृतीय चरण पूरी तरह उद्दिष्ट पथ का अनुकरण करता हुआ
+13 minutes।
यह वह अंतिम चरण है जो यान को 251 किलोमीटर तक ले जाएगा तथा गति 9.75 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड। यह गति NVS-1 उपग्रह को प्रदान करेगा जिससे वह उस कक्षा में अंतःक्षेपित होगा।
परफॉर्मेंस नॉर्मल।
वर्तमान में यान की सापेक्ष गति 7.1 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड तथा ऊंचाई 133 किलोमीटर।
We have come 827 seconds past the launch time. The current relative velocity is 7.8 0.22 kilometers per second. The current altitude is 134 kilometers. The trajectory being followed by the launch vehicle is as per the prediction, very precise.
उपग्रह का पूर्ण परिशुद्धता से कक्षा में स्थापित किया जाना बहुत आवश्यक होता है। इससे उपग्रह की लाइफ भी बढ़ती है और सेवाएं उपलब्ध कराने में बहुत आसानी होती है।
Cryo stage performance normal.
For the present mission GSLV F12, the cryo stage is provided with active pressurization system for the propellant, which is an upgrade to enhance the reliability of the engine and stage. Presently, Port Blair and Brunei stations are tracking.
Plus 16 minutes.
क्रायो स्टेज व अंतिम चरण है GSLV F12 का, जो कि उपग्रह को उद्दिष्ट कक्षा में स्थापित करेगा। यह चरण LPSC द्वारा निर्मित किया गया है।
Cryo stage performance normal.
Plus 17 minutes.
कुछ ही क्षणों पश्चात तृतीय चरण को बंद कर दिया जाएगा तथा उचित कक्षा पहुंचते ही उपग्रह को प्रमुचित किया जाएगा।
The current altitude is 189 kilometers. The cryo stage is still operating, and in the last few seconds of its operation,
अब कुछ ही क्षणों पश्चात हम देखेंगे क्रायो स्टेज का बंद होना तथा उपग्रह के अंतःक्षेपण की स्थितियां प्राप्त होते ही उपग्रह का अंतःक्षेपण।
Brunei and Bayak ground stations are currently tracking.
Cryo stage thrust cutoff. Sled injection condition is achieved.
क्रायो स्टेज को कट ऑफ कर दिया गया है तथा अंतःक्षेपण की स्थितियां प्राप्त की जा चुकी हैं। अब कुछ ही क्षणों में
NVS 01 satellite separated.
Satellite NVS-01 has been separated and placed into the
GSLV
intended
F12
orbit.
NVS-01 mission accomplished.
ये हम ऑनबोर्ड कैमरा की मदद से देख पा रहे हैं NVS-1 को सफलतापूर्वक उद्दिष्ट कक्षा में अंतक्षेपित कर दिया गया है और इसके साथ ही यह मिशन सफल होता है.
The launch of GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission has been successful. The jubilant ambience in the Mission Control Center is a testimony to how much this success matters to ISRO. Many congratulations to all the teams of ISRO. We take leave from you. Do continue to be with us for the address by Secretary DOS, Chairman ISRO, Shri S. Somnath.
Giri and satellite director. Good morning, all of you. Congratulations for the excellent GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission outcome. I'm very happy to announce the NVS-01 navigation satellite for the Navi constellation has been placed in the precise orbit by GSLV F12 vehicle. Congratulations to the entire team, ISRO, for making this mission happen. As all of you are aware, this mission of GSLV F12 is after the debacle that we had in F10 mission, where there was an issue in the cryogenic stage. The cryogenic engine ignition could not be accomplished. And I'm very happy that the corrections, the modifications in the cryogenic stage that we have done in this stage, as well as the lessons that we learned out of it to make our cryogenic stage more reliable, has really paid benefits. And we are seeing the success in our GSLV Mark III LVM-3 mission with the C25 stage, as well as with the CUS stage with the required modifications done. So I want to specifically thank the entire failure analysis committee who went through this and made our life much better. And also for LPSC, Liquid Propulsion System Center, who worked hard to make sure the cryogenic stage is brought back to its high levels of reliability. Today, the NAVIC satellite NVS-01 is the second generation of navigation satellite with additional capabilities that we have already brought into this satellite constellation, where we make the signals more secure. We made a civilian frequency band L1, and also introduced our atomic clock, which is designed and developed by Space Applications Center, ISRO. And this is one of the 5 series of satellites in this new configuration that are to be launched. So I would like to thank all those people who worked to make this satellite as well and make this mission a really grand success. Now the satellite is in a geotransfer orbit. Now the satellite team will take over, and now we'll do the rest of the functions of circularizing it and placing it at the right place in the position where it is intended to be. So I wish all the very best to the satellite team for subsequent missions. So today we have with me the mission director, Sri Giri, who will speak to you, and also the satellite director, who will speak afterwards.
Good morning. Hearty congratulations to the entire ISRO team for the grand success of GSLV F12 NVS-01 mission. The GSLV F12 has injected the satellite into a very good orbit, 173 by 40,709 kilometers, which will give better life for satellite. See, this is the first successful flight of the GSLV with 4-meter payload fairing. The earlier 4-meter fairings, we had anomalies, not because of PLF, but because of some other reasons in the other systems. Now, with the 4-meter PLF, GSLV has the capability to launch bigger payloads and provide them a better aerodynamic environment. We can now confidently launch NSR next year. See, last flight GSLV F10 anomaly was a heartbreaking for all of us. But Chairman ISRO was always acting as a moral booster because of his constant encouragement and encouragement directors. The core team, along with the SDS, has recovered fully, and the cryo stage is modified with the FAC recommendations. I especially compliment IPRC, LPSC teams for bringing out the cryo stage with the support of BSSC and the SDSC. I salute the SDS and SR teams spread across the various centers of ISRO who has put their heart and soul in the great work to bring back GSLV to success track. Now GSLV has become combined with other satellites with to have an operational launch vehicle for ISRO, and has come back to the success. There has been excellent support from center directors for bringing back GSLV. I salute the excellent review by subsystem FRRs, FRLV, Apex, MRR, National Expert Committee, which helped in resolving issues and making the launch vehicle very robust. The industries in India have contributed immensely to the realization of this vehicle. I acknowledge the contribution by HAL, especially in realizing 4-meter OPLF on time. The GSLV core project has demonstrated excellent teamwork, perseverance, and persistence, because we were always slightly hampered by the earlier failures, but the team kept the morale and they took the excellent task of bringing back GSLV to success with the support from all SDS spread across various centers. The role played by Regulatory Tommy Joseph, who has been here in SHAR for many days and in realizing systems, is to be specially mentioned, and Associate Vehicle Director Sri Karthikeyan. Other important contributions were from Sri Getty Jose and Sri A.B. Mercy. They require special mention. The NVS-01 satellite launched today is very special because it has the L1 band and they use indigenously developed atomic clock. My best wishes to the NVS-01 spacecraft team for the upcoming spacecraft operations, which will provide better navigation capability for India. Once again, my hearty compliments to the entire ISRO team, to the loving family members who supported the team members for achieving this success. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Now the satellite director, Mr. Bhaskar.
Good morning to one and all. I do believe that Naughty Boy has been fully tamed. Respected Chairman, Directors, distinguished invitees, a very good morning. The launch of NVS-01 is an event which all of us in the navigation community have been looking forward to for quite some time because of two reasons. One is we have included the popular civilian band L1, and the inclusion of this band will make us interoperable with international operators. Second, and the most important reason is we have included our very own indigenous atomic clock developed by SAC Ahmedabad. A big kudos to all the teams from SAC payload team. Also wish to place on record thanks to Chairman ISRO for giving us an early launch despite a slew of flagship programs lined up. I would also like to thank Director URSA for his constant guidance and support, and to all my mentors and reviewers for making the realization of the satellite. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all my team members from various centers of ISRO who have made this possible today. And in a few days from now, we'll be making the satellite operational and we'll be putting the satellite in the desired position. And later on, we'll be getting the navigational information from this. In short, if the launcher has the will, satellite will show the way. Thank you.
So we will now request our center directors who have contributed immensely to this program to have a quick briefing on this. So we don't want to take a long time. So I will start with Director SAC, Ahmedabad.
Good morning, everybody. At the outset, let me congratulate Team ISRO as well as Chairman ISRO and all the stakeholders in this mission. And as we celebrate 70 years of climbing of Everest, it was a field task for Team ISRO. It is like climbing Everest only. And once again, I compliment all my team members at Space Application Center for developing an excellent payload. And I hope that surely you are going to hear a lot about NAVIC in near future. Thank you.
Director of the Satellite Center, Mr. Chandrayan.
Good morning. After a long time, a satellite going into geo orbit has been launched by us. Of course, last year we had the commercial launch for ENSIL, but our own satellite, it's quite some time we are having a launch. And today, on a hot summer day in Shar, where the temperature is more than 40, but you feel like 50, what more pleasure than having an operational satellite with GSLV, putting it in the precise orbit. What more pleasure do we all need? Thank you very much for the entire community for contributing to make this launch vehicle as well as satellite success. The satellite now has deployed its solar panels, gone through its venting sequence, and is ready to now take up the next operations to raise its orbit and go to the geostationary orbit at 5-degree inclination. So looking forward to operationalizing this satellite as part of the new NAVIC constellation. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Now the Director of the Liquid Propulsion System Center, Dr. Narayanan.
Good morning. Heartiest congratulations to each and every one of you. It is a very proud moment for ISRO as well as the entire country that we have accomplished a very important mission, GSLV F-12 NAVIC 01. And this vehicle has got more number of propulsion systems. In fact, 7 propulsion systems which has worked in a synchronized way and delivered the satellite in the required orbit. Very heartening to note that all the vehicle systems have performed extremely well. Coming to the cryo stage after a setback, when we have come back with the necessary corrections and improvements, really the teams have done extremely well, exceptionally well, and today the performance reveals that cryo stage performance is as expected and as predicted. On this occasion, let me congratulate and compliment each and every team members, our family members, and the satellite team for realizing an excellent satellite. Thank you. Jai Hind.
The Director of the ISRO Propulsion Complex at Mahendragiri, Sri Asir Pakiraj.
Congratulations, India. It's very heartening to note the success of the GSLV NVS-01 mission. At this point of time, let me place on record the appreciable efforts taken by the liquid propulsion community in bringing out the GS2, L40 and the CUS stages. I thank my IPRC family for a tireless work to bring these stages and showing the success of the GSLV vehicle once more. Thank you.
The Director of the ISRO Satellite Tracking Network, Mr. Ramakrishnan.
Good morning to all. Thank you, sir. It's a really great mission. After a long time, we had a very great success here. And all our tracking stations have provided very immensely useful data. And I'm sure the satellite will be put in right orbit, and it is going to prove our navigation community a very, very useful system. And I compliment the entire country and the entire ISRO team. Thank you. Thank you all.
I'll invite Dr. Sam Dayaladev, the Director of the ISRO Inertial Systems Unit.
Good morning. Really very happy to see the successful flight of GF-12. Really I compliment as well as congratulate all of you for the excellent contribution really coming after a setback in F-10. So the type of reviews that had gone through, especially for the cryo stage, excellent reviews, and all the elements were really put into great rig so that so nothing is left unturned. So really very happy to see the performance of the whole stages. And also personally I think ISRO Inertial System Unit is also very happy that because in NVS-01 the first magnetic levitated reaction wheels is being flown, where with the excellent micro vibration capability. So we are looking forward the performance, because a magnetic suspended reaction wheel typically literally the life is infinite. So that contribution also we are very happy. So I wish all the very best for the subsequent spacecraft operations, and see that our indigenous atomic clock also performing to the best in par with the rest of the world. Thank you. Jai Hind.
I wish to invite Dr. Unikrishnan Nair, the director of Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, who is from where the rocket has come.
Very good morning, India. Congratulations to all the system development agencies across all ISRO centers, all industries, and all the national eminent experts and academia who have been the part of the failure analysis committee. And since the last failure to today, it has been a learning phase. We have understood and we corrected. That is why GSLV is back in action. GSLV is there for launching 2-ton class of GEO satellite, and demonstrating that with 4-meter fairing, we have demonstrated in GSLV. And with this launch, GSLV also inching towards higher reliability. It has crossed the 0.9 reliability mark, and GSLV will be there for more missions in future. Thank you very much.
Finally, I wish to invite the director of this center, the Satish Dhawan Space Center, and he is the chairman of the Launch Authorization Board, Sri Rajarajan.
Congrats, Team India, across ISRO and the industries for making one more vehicle after all these failures. Some vehicles request coaching, and this seems to be well done by all the failure analysis committee and recommendation, and has been strengthened, and it has been shown today. Both the vehicle as well as the spacecraft is having better instrumentation and augmentation to serve the country. At SHAR, we had the 2023 fourth successful launch. Every month we are having a habit of a successful launch. Let us keep it. Whether the weather is helping us or not, I hope the entire team across centers and this one comes into here for the last mile activity and making this a very good way to progress in a time-bound manner. And I also thanks Chairman for giving all the support, making us that all the support is available at this place to carry out the work without any hitch. Already we are having vehicles further, and I'm also happy to note at SDS Ishar that we have multiple launch campaigns going on simultaneously, both commercial as well as development, and I compliment all the people to do the work once again. And once again I thank the entire community for making a successful launch. Thank you.
On this very happiest occasion, it's very important that I should recognize the support that we are getting from the government, especially in authorizing us to have this launch of GSLV after a failure, and the confidence the decision makers, our honorable prime ministers, and other key functionaries who reviewed it to see that we have done the required work, and also to see the Navi constellation is something that is very crucial for this nation to have a regional navigation constellation. And it must be made to fully operational status. It must be put to use for various applications that we already started to work on. I take this opportunity to tell you that we are going to make this NAVIC system fully functional and operational for the benefit of this nation. There is huge amount of opportunity that is waiting for us to exploit in the future. And also the case of GSLV, we had, of course, there were issues in the past, but I am very sure the full configuration which we all dreamt to make it operational is on the way. And we are having the next launch of GSLV with a climate and weather observation satellite called INSAT 3DS that will be happening soon. And after that, the same rocket is bound to take the NISAR, the India NASA synthetic aperture radar satellite as well. Coming months, we are going to have launches of PSLV as well as GSLV Mark III, and we are also getting ready to launch the test vehicle of the Gaganyaan. Of course, the launches of further PSLVs and SSLVs in the offing. The SHAR is abreast with a lot of activities towards all of this. So let me take goodbye from you today at this moment and hope to tell you the final status of the orbit rising process and the operationalization of NAVIC in due course. Thank you, goodbye from Satish Dhawan Space Center.
Dr. Alexander Thomas, the President of the Association of Healthcare Providers India, to welcome the Chairman Kindly hand over a bouquet, Dr. Alex, please, on our behalf. You're listening to the voice of the Master of Ceremonies of this morning's function. It's my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to all the participants to this morning's inaugural function, being jointly organized by the Indian Space Research Organization, the Association of Healthcare Providers India, the Society for Emergency Medicine in India, and the various participating hospitals to this inaugural function. Of requesting Sri S. Somanath, Chairman, ISRO, and Secretary, Department of Space, to kindly adorn the dais, please. Dr. Sri S. Somanath. To be followed by Dr. Brinda V., Director, DSRQ, ISRO Headquarters, and of course, Dr. Alexander Thomas, President, Association of Healthcare Providers, India. To formally welcome them with saplings. And may I request Dr. Reshma to present a sapling to our chairman, please. Dr. Reshma. Ms. Vaishnavi, who will be presenting sapling to Dr. Brinda. To Dr. Alexander Thomas. Thanking the dignitaries. I thought it would be most appropriate to start with a wonderful quotation by George W. Bush. Quote, "Mankind is drawn to the heavens for the same reason we were once drawn into unknown lands and across the open sea. We choose to explore space because doing so improves our lives and lifts our national spirit. Let us continue to journey." Unquote. In the spirit of this statement of improving the lives of the citizens of this planet, the ISRO, HPI, and SEMI have joined hands to come up with the quality upgradation enabled through space technology. And it is a very auspicious occasion. And I have the pleasure of requesting the invocation, please. Can we have the invocation? I request the participants to be on the feet as the invocation is being rendered. Having invoked the blessings of the divine, may I now request Dr. Alexander Thomas to formally welcome the chairman and the other dignitaries, and also provide an introduction into today's meeting program.
Thank you, VC, and good afternoon to all of you. Chairman, sir, members of the staff of ISRO, and my colleagues from SEMI and AHPI. A warm welcome to all of you, and it's so great to see all of you here, especially after the 2 years of COVID. 2016 actually seems a long time ago. This was the year that Dr. Kasturi Rangan, all of you know him, the former chairman of ISRO, member of parliament, chairman of NEP. We were having a conversation on the sidelines of the Karnataka Knowledge Commission. He was a chairman and I was a member. I had the privilege of working with this great man. He's my mentor in various areas with a health policy for the government of Karnataka. For the national education policy, we gave a lot of inputs from the medical side of it, which have been implemented. And with setting up of a national think tank on health at the National Law School, University of India. So coming back to this conversation, I was sharing with him the error rate. He was asking me what are the errors in the hospital healthcare sector, and he was expecting me to say 0% or 1%. I think all of us here, the healthcare people, know it, but to my colleagues in ISRO, the healthcare, the error rate in the health sector in the developed world, not in India, is about 8 to 10%. Unbelievable, but true. So naturally, being a scientist that he was actually shocked. He said, we send our rockets from ISRO to space, the aerospace industry 0%, and you're dealing with lives, and it's such a high incidence of errors. So that's how the story of collaboration between AHPI and ISRO started. So I met with Kiran Kumar sir, he was a chairman at that time, and we got started. So looking at the various areas in the hospital, the emergency medicine, and my colleagues in ISRO, the emergency medicine is the entry point of the hospital. All the cases come in, usually it's a situation of chaos. People coming in, unfortunately people dying, a lot of chaos. And we thought that there were two areas we identified. One was the critical care areas, the intensive cares and the accident and emergency. Fortunately for us, we have this organization called SEMI, and it's a young specialty. Accident and emergency is a young specialty, and all the members of SEMI are young and enthusiastic. They were also keen to join, and I must say that my experience, our experience of the HPI with SEMI has been absolutely great. They have played a very crucial role in this project, and it's, I think, one of the, we had tie-ups, other associations, but they didn't follow up, and I'm very glad to say that SEMI has taken this forward. So after we had after that first meeting, we had multiple meetings, I think over a year. Both the ISRO specialists and our SEMI specialists came up, and then we came out with this health quest document, which is in your hands now. This in essence are recommendations of how to incorporate space industry safety practices into medicine. At this time, I think it's only appropriate that I acknowledge many of those who were involved in the Health Quest document at the time. All the ISRO officials, I won't mention names because that will come later. Many of them who helped and guided us. The other partners at that time was Planet Aerospace. They're a spin-off of ISRO. We had some very enthusiastic and wise advisors from there. Of course, SEMI was a core of this. We had the National Accreditation Board of Hospitals. They were also part of it, and so was a consortium of accredited healthcare organizations. They all helped in getting out this document, and I just want to remember them and appreciate their help. So based on this document, Health Quest, a pilot study was done. It's all very well to come out with a theoretical document. I think all of us are doers, and we did a pilot study, one in Chennai and one in Bangalore. And that showed a significant improvement in morbidity and mortality. And hence it was decided that we need to take this forward and do at a national level. We are very, very grateful to Shivan sir. He was the one who enabled us to, to start this study. Unfortunately, COVID came in between and literally stole 2 years of our time. Hopefully that is, I think, behind us now. So for this particular project that we are doing all over with 11 hospitals all over the country, I must mention that this group met every Monday. So Monday 3 o'clock was meant for ISRO research over the last 1.5 years, and we've probably had close to 100 meetings, and I see a lot of them sitting here. The good thing about it is a few of us, I qualify to be called a senior citizen, a couple of us in that committee, but most of the other members of that committee, of this group who's come up with this, were young and enthusiastic, very dependable, very proactive, and it's been a pleasure actually to interact with them over these years, and we've had some experts from well-known experts also helping us. Today, we have representatives from 11 hospitals all over the country. These are the site champions in their respective hospitals, and we really appreciate their involvement. I think the very fact that they are all here representing their hospitals indicates the passion and the commitment they have. The finding of this pre-intervention phase, what we did, will be presented and also with the way forward. We are hoping that this study would be completed by November 15th, and we can again present the final study to this group first. Incidentally, I think this is the first time that a study has been done between space and health with regards to safety. I mean, a lot of space innovations which have come to medicine, but with regard to safety, I think this is the first study which has been globally conducted. We have been discussing collaborations with ISRO for the last few years. We had gone into great detail, we had got experts down, but then for a variety of reasons, including the pandemic, we were not able to take it forward. But I feel now is the time is right now to restart our discussions and take forward whatever our thoughts are. Chairman had already suggested that ISRO and healthcare professionals interact and see where we can work together and collaborate. ISRO experts can showcase their capabilities, and AHPI, through its large network, can get representative experts and associations from all over the country to interact and also explore areas of common interest. This, we hope, that will start happening over the next couple of months. However, there are a couple of projects which we can start immediately, and I would like to place it before the chairman for his consideration. We have today with us emergency physicians from all over the country. And I think it may be an appropriate time for us to think of geomapping all the accident and emergency centers all over the country. We had considerable discussion over this, so I think we can pick up from where we stopped. And the discussions with chairman was that ISRO has got a huge amount of data, and this will be something that we can take off immediately. We could probably do it in a phased manner, start off in Karnataka or any other state which we think is fit. This will, I mean, for those who are not very familiar with this, what will it give us? It would give valuable information to the patients, accurate information as to the type of services available in a particular center, the level of care available. There are different levels of care available in different hospitals. It tell you what level of care is available, who are the specialists available, and very importantly, providing service during the golden hour. I think we lose many lives because of lack of attention, of the appropriate attention at that particular time, the first hour. And many a time, a patient who is sick goes to a hospital, the facilities are not there, he goes to another hospital. So this would be one area where we can focus on. And also, the availability of ambulances. It's Murphy's Law, when you need an ambulance, you'll never get an ambulance. So we hope that this would also, geotagging will help us know where these services are available. Later, I think we could carry on this and take this forward along and do this with availability, geotagging of intensive care units. I remember my time when I was in Baptist Hospital. Our ICUs were invariably full, and we used to get very sick patients coming into the ICUs. And I remember many times we had to actually send the patient with a doctor and a nurse all over town, and many times the patient has come back because there's no bed. So this is a service, I think, that we can look at. This will be immensely beneficial. This whole process of geotagging will be intensely beneficial and certainly save lives and help improve the quality of care that we give to our patients in our country. Another collaboration, I think most of you have, the healthcare people here know that health and climate change is some area that we need to collaborate in. If you look at the greatest health threat to the country, to the globe, today it is climate change. And I always say that the greatest challenge among healthcare people is that our lack of awareness. 7 or 8 years ago, if you had asked me about climate change, I would have been able to tell you nothing. We are blissfully unaware, sitting in our own silos. Fortunately, Srinath Reddy from PHFI had asked me to work with him in climate change, and we realized how important it is and how little we know. So this is the reason that we have actually come out with a book on climate change and health. This is available as a free download, and I think it's important that we sensitize our medical community on the health and climate change. Also, I think very few of us know that if the health sector is put together, we actually contribute 5% of the environmental pollution. So there are lots of things that we can do. And generally, doctors and healthcare professionals are thought leaders. I think we can educate the company on this area. We value this partnership with ISRO very, very much. I think it's been a very good partnership. We've both been very persistent with each other. The fact that we have been at it now, it's almost 5 years. We value this partnership and hope that we will be able to work together and impact healthcare positively in our country, making quality healthcare affordable and accessible to all our citizens. That is a dream of our Prime Minister, and we also share in that dream. I think I'd like to end by saying that today let us dream to make India the Mecca of healthcare. Now, I've got about 4 to 5 decades of health experience behind me, so I'm not just not shooting my mouth. I know India has the resources, we have the capabilities to be the healthcare capital of the globe. We have huge resources. All our people are outside. I mean, if you look at in the country itself, I think if only need to work together and have a will, and I'm sure we can fulfill that dream. Thank you all once again. Welcome to you all once again, and hope you have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. And with that, we move on to the lighting of the lamp. Now, as I'm about to request the dignitaries of the dais to formally inaugurate this by lighting the lamp, it's also our privilege to request certain other experts who have been connected with this quest study. May I request the following to kindly join the dignitaries on the dais. Dr. A.N. Venkatesh, President, Society for Emergency Medicine India, and the Head of Emergency, Apollo Hospitals, Bangalore. Dr. T.S. Srinath Kumar, Past President of SEMI, and Group Emergency Head, Narayana Health. Dr. R. Jitendra, Data Scientist and Research Expert. Dr. G. Vigneshwaran, Consultant, Clinical Research, Narayana Health. And Dr. Mansoor Sheikh, Emergency Consultant, Mehta's Hospital, Chennai. Thou visible symbol of the Supreme Being, who knowest all our virtue and failings, uphold our good and turn up our sin. We offer our prayer to you again and again. Lead us by the fair path beyond pleasure and pain to the abode of the supreme good that is divine. Thanking the dignitaries and the experts. Dr. Alex, in his introductory speech, did make a mention about climate change and the health. I must mention that the Association of Healthcare Providers India, experts like Dr. Alex. With his vast experience, they have proudly come out with the first book in the country on climate change and the role of the health sector and how health sector would lead in combating climate change. May I request Dr. Alexander Thomas to hand over a set of these books to our chairman to place them in the libraries of the corresponding units of ISRO so that he would benefit from it. In fact, the inaugural address for this program would have been delivered by Dr. Devi Shetty, but for his preoccupation, it's something very, very important. That's why he has sent a video message wishing us all the best on this momentous occasion. May we have the video message, please?
Hi, my name is Dr. Devi Shetty from Narayana Health, Bangalore. AHPI is trying to tie up with various industries unrelated to healthcare to guide us in reducing the medical errors in healthcare. As you all know, aviation industry is one of the safest industries on the planet. Indian Space Research Organization, which is recognized as one of the premier research organizations in space technology, is known and famous for its safety practices. The interaction between AHPI and ISRO happened with a casual interaction between Dr. Alex from AHPI and Dr. Kasturirangan from Indian Space Research Organization. The result of this interaction is the launching of Quest with the single motto of making healthcare safer for the patients by reducing medical error. Emergency rooms are one of the common places because of the chaotic situation which occurs when large number of accident victims arrive at the same time. Is the ideal place to put in the protocol processes with the help of ISRO to reduce the human error. And we are very pleased to present our experience of having launched this process and protocol across 11 hospitals' emergency room. We are extremely grateful to all of you for the great cooperation, and I'm sure in the future, in the near future, all the best practices which emerge from this interaction between ISRO and hospitals will be available across the country and perhaps across the world to make healthcare safer for the patient. Thank you so much.
Devi Shetty, and with that we move on to the next item in the program, requesting Dr. Brinda V, the Director, Directorate of Safety, Reliability and Quality, ISRO Headquarters, to render the felicitation, please.
Scientific Secretary ISRO, Dr. Devi Shetty, the Chairman Narayana Health Bangalore in his absentia, Dr. Alex Thomas, President of HPI, Dr. A.M. Venkatesh, President DCMI, Dr. T.S. Srinath Kumar, Head Narayana Health, Dr. V.C. Shanmuganandan, Aggressor AHPI, and all the eminent doctors from across the country who have assembled here to be with us today. A very good morning to you all. Let me first place my sincere gratitude to Chairman ISRO Secretary DOS for encouraging us and supporting us and continuously guiding us to make this program happen here today. Coming to the topic of today, I feel there is a striking similarity between space and medical field. In both, mistakes are unpardonable. So safety, quality, and systems and procedures should be of highest standards possible in both our fields. It is heartening to note that we are shaking hands to work together for a noble cause of highest standard and quality to serve the nation and mankind. It's really gratifying feeling for me to be here today among all of you. Doctors are like gods to all of us. And I want to sincerely thank all of you for taking care of us and ensuring that we are all happy and healthy. We often discuss here about the positive impact of the space technology in society in various sectors, especially in healthcare, and by way of the space technology spin-offs resulting in cost-effective medical equipment or human support systems and so on. But I think this spin-off is quite different. I wish today's event a grand success, the fruits of which will definitely yield much more positive results for the benefit of everyone in our nation. We, the quality team of ISRO, extend a wholehearted quality support to the HealthQuest program in this noble endeavor. Best wishes and thanks to all the speakers for taking time and effort to share your experiences with others. Thank you very much.
With that, we move on to the presentation of the pre-intervention data of the best study by Dr. Jitendra R.
And Secretary DOS, P. Somnath, National President, AHPI, Dr. Alex Thomas, Director, Dr. Brinda, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. It's indeed a pleasure and an honor to present the results of the preliminary analysis conducted at the end of the pre-intervention stage. I take this opportunity to congratulate and thank all the sites who have successfully accomplished this landmark. The credit goes to you. And what we are presenting today is your hard work. Next, please. Broadly classified into 9 time-based KPIs and 4 incident reporting KPIs, key performance indicators. Let's look at the time-based KPIs. The 9 time-based KPIs are door to the triage time. That is the time at which the patient actually kind of comes into the particular emergency department till the time the triage is actually done by the nurse. The second is door to doctor time. Third, door to needle time in stroke thrombolysis, and door to mechanical thrombolysis is the fourth. Door to pain assessment is the 5th KPI. The 6th is pain assessment to reassessment time. The 7th would be door to lab investigation ordering time. The 8th would be time from ordering investigations to the first review of investigation by the doctor. And the last is time to discharge from arrival. So these are the 9 key time-based KPIs that we have concentrated on. The incident reporting KPIs, which deals with safety, like for example, the patient falls, medication error, failed intubation rate, the infections, the hand hygiene compliance, mortality, the nurse to patient ratio. And I would be presenting the data pertaining to the time-based KPIs, and my subsequent speaker, Dr. Vigneshwaran, will be touching upon the incident-based KPIs. Kindly bear with me, this will be the only slide where you get to see a lot of numbers. I promise you that's the only slide. Now this slide is being projected to give you a glimpse of the back-end calculations and some of the thumb rules that we have actually kind of put in place. We have the name of the site there. The next comes the count. The count indicates the total records that have been included for computing this specific KPI, the door to triage time. To compute any time-based KPI, we are looking at 2 time points. And if one or either of the 2 are actually kind of missing, then that record is actually getting eliminated from the analysis. And extreme outliers have also been excluded. When we say extreme outliers, we are referring to the erroneous time points, like triage being done before the particular arrival, or 24 hours after the particular arrival, the triage is actually done, which is highly unlikely. And then we have the descriptive statistics of mean, standard deviation, minimum, 25th quantile, 50th quantile, the median, and 75th quantile, and the maximum values. In fact, we are concentrating today on only two key parameters, that will be the median values and the mean values. To easily comprehend the baseline benchmarks, as we review the pre-intervention data, kindly note that the hospital names have been arranged in merely alphabetical order and in no specific ranking as such. The study that we have done, the Quest survey, has not been designed in a way that we can actually kind of compare the KPIs between the hospitals. A lot of standardization is actually required for us to have to do that, in terms of the patient load, in terms of the infrastructure, in terms of the knowledge, aptitude, and practice of the personnel manning the emergency department. So no such thing has been done between these particular sites. So we should not jump to the conclusion of trying to say which is doing good and which is doing bad, right? This study only aims at improving and measuring the key performance indicators intra-hospital, meaning the pre-intervention data is the benchmark against which the post-intervention KPI performance would be studied, right? So the median values are represented as orange bars and the mean values are represented by the blue bars. The standard notation used for time is HH and MM format throughout the presentation. So coming to the first KPI, door to triage time, that is the time interval of patient arriving to the triage being conducted by the nurse. The median range is found between 1 to 2 minutes across all the sites, and this is the median values. And the range of the mean is between 1 to 15 minutes. That is the door to doctor's time, the time from the patient's arrival at the emergency till the time the initial assessment is completed by the doctor. Here again, we see that the median range is between 4 to 5 minutes across all hospitals, and the range for the mean is between 6 minutes to 33 minutes. Door to needle time for thrombolysis. All hospitals have actually reported single digits of patients requiring to undergo this particular procedure. Medicover, in fact, reported somewhere around 10 cases. The rest were all in single digits. So that's the reason you also find the mean and the median very close by. The median range is between 4 minutes to 2 hours 2 minutes across all hospitals, and the range for the mean is between 4 minutes and 2 hours 2 minutes. Same with this particular KPI, that is the door to mechanical thrombolysis. Again, very few patients, only 8 of them were subjected to this particular procedure, 3 in Medicover, 1 in NH, and 4 in CHIJA. So the median range is between 6 minutes and 38 minutes for completion of this particular procedure, and the range of the mean is between 6 minutes and 40 minutes. The door to pain assessment time interval between the patient's arrival to the first assessment of pain. The median range across all hospitals was just between 2 to 3 minutes. And the range of mean is between 3 minutes and 29 minutes. So the benchmarks already set in the pre-survey is quite high. And to beat them in the post-survey is a Herculean challenge in most of the KPIs, I would say. So coming to the 6th KPI, the pain score assessment to reassessment. So first they kind of do the pain score assessment, they bring in the intervention, and then they kind of reassess the particular pain. The median range is between 6 minutes to 1 hour across all the hospitals, and the range of the mean is between 17 minutes to 1 hour 22 minutes. That is the day to ordering the lab investigation. The median range is between 4 minutes to 21 minutes across all the hospitals, and the range of the mean is between 8 minutes and 45 minutes. Time from ordering investigations to the first review of investigations. Here we have allowed an overlap of 24 hours and not treated the data as an extreme outlier. There is a possibility that the investigations have actually been ordered in the ED but reviewed out of the ED, hence the long time intervals. The median range is between 20 minutes to 2 hours 19 minutes across all the hospitals, and the range of the mean is somewhere between 32 minutes to 47 hours and 32 minutes. This KPI, that is time from arrival to discharge, the median time range is between 30 minutes to 4 hours 14 minutes across all the hospitals, and the mean range is between 46 minutes to 4 hours 41 minutes. We try to stratify this particular data based on the zone triage. The door to discharge encompasses all the intermediary activities, and hence we stratified the data based on this zone triage, the red, yellow, green, blue, and white, the red being most severe. And in the graph, the dark blue bar with the numbers indicates the overall mean time across all triage zones for the respective hospitals. The bar color corresponds to the corresponding zone patients, and the length, the average time for discharge. As expected, the yellow zone patients tend to stay longer than the overall average in most of the hospitals. Very crucial juncture in this particular study, wherein we have just completed the pre-intervention stage and moving into the post-intervention stage. But since we have all the site champions here, I thought it would be a good idea to share the percentage of records excluded from analysis as well. Now, this might be either due to the missing data, captured in the particular time point, or captured with errors. So the best practice is to mitigate this particular problem is to verify the records at the end of the day as we move on to the post-intervention phase, and discuss it with the central database team at NH to reduce the recall bias, and the data gaps can actually be plugged so that we don't have to kind of exclude many records. So here we get to see the door to discharge time. We have lost quite a few particular patients. Final to-do list for the site champions here. Stop using the pre-intervention QR code yellow tags that were given to you, right? I am sure most of you would have kind of exhausted them by now, but in case you do have them, you please, do not continue to kind of use this yellow tags. From this point forward, I think today before you leave, the post-intervention tags, the green tags would be kind of handed over to you, and this is what has to be kind of used for the post-intervention phase. Kindly review the data quality, preferably at end of day, and incorporate corrections to avoid the data errors, so that when we kind of club these two, the pre-intervention as